Hello students, welcome to AllCBTs. My name is Simeon Emmanuel, and today we'll be treating 40 likely NECO or GCE Commerce questions. Sit back, relax, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's go straight into the questions. Question 1. Which of the following documents is sent by a seller to inform a buyer that goods have been dispatched? The correct answer to this is advice notes. Alright, advice note. Advice note is the note that a seller sends to a buyer to inform the buyer that the goods have been dispatched. Now, why is invoice not the correct answer? Invoice is a note that contains the entire details of the goods that have been sold. Receipt is the note issued to a buyer after payment has been made. All right, and credit note is issued for overcharge or returns when return has been made. Now, the minimum number of persons required to form a public limited liability is A2, B 5, C 7, D 10. The correct answer to this is 7. 7 is the minimum. 7 people is the minimum number, or 7 persons is the minimum number of people legally accepted to start a public limited liability. 2 is for partnership, minimum of 2 and maximum of 20. 5 is not the minimum legal standard, and 10 is also not the minimum legal standard. Question 3. A business organization owned by consumers, take note of the word consumers, operated for their benefits, not profits, is what? We have A, partnership, B, cooperative society, C, sole proprietorship, D, public. A business organization owned by consumers and operated for their benefits, not for profit maximization, but for their benefits, is owned by what? Is owned by a cooperative society. It's owned by what? A cooperative society. Why is it not partnership? Partnership is for the purpose of what? Making profits. So partnership is owned by one person, but for the purpose of making what? Profits. Public corporation is owned by what? By the government. All right. Which of the following is a function of Nigerian Stock Exchange? Take note of the word Nigerian Stock Exchange. That means they deal with what? Securities, bonds, treasury. They deal with all those things. Now, what is their major function? Their major function is they buy shares and they also sell. So they buy shares or they buy securities and also sell it. So that is their this correct answer. Granting of loans is done by what? To farmers is done by what? Agricultural what? Banks or institutions. Issuing currency note is done by the CBN. This is done by the CBN. Alright, so this is not the answer. Collecting taxes is done by the government. Government are the one that collect taxes. So the correct answer is buying and selling securities. Question 5. The reward for capital as a factor of production. Take note of the word reward for capital. When I talk about capital, I'm talking about the money used to fund the business. So when you fund the business, what are you going to get? Interest. The correct answer is interest. Profits is gotten by what? Entrepreneurs. Rent is reward for land. Salary is reward for what? For labor. So the correct answer is interest. Question 6. A warehouse owned. Now, remember that a warehouse is a place for storing what? For storing goods. Storing goods. So warehouse is a place for storing goods owned and operated by governments, not by individuals, but by government. Is known as what? It's known as what? Public warehouse. A public warehouse is a warehouse owned and controlled by what? By the government. All right, bonded warehouse is where imported goods are kept. Imported goods are kept. Private warehouse is owned by a private individual. Cold storage warehouse is a place where perishable products, perishable goods are stored. All right. Question 7. Which of the following is a disadvantage of partnership? Not advantage, that is disadvantage. Is it more capital? No. More capital is not a disadvantage. As long as it is owned by two people, they can gather more money together because it's a joint effort. Shared responsibility is not a disadvantage, it's an advantage because it's owned by two people or more people. Unlimited liability is the answer because of debts. You cannot really say how much of debt. Better decision making is an advantage. So the correct answer is unlimited liability. Debt can be incurred. Alright, so that's the correct answer. Unlimited liability. Liability is unlimited. The liability is what? Unlimited. Question 8. Let's go to question 8. The payment method by an insurer. Who is an insurer? The company that what? That pays for the risk. Pays for what? Pays for risk. Pays for losses. So they pays for what? Losses. Alright. That is the company that what? Pays for coverage of losses. To an insured after a loss is called what? Indemnity. It's called indemnity. Compensation is payments made to compensate. All right. The insured premium is money paid periodically by the insured. All right. So the correct answer is indemnity. Which of the following is not a method of retail trade? Hawking is a method of retail trade. Chain stores is a type of retailing business. Mail order is also a type of retailing business. The correct answer is factoring. Factoring, this one is a financial service offered. So the correct answer is factoring. Goods imported into a country for re-export. That means, let's say you are in Cote d'Ivoire. You receive goods from America into Cote d'Ivoire. And the purpose of receiving those goods is for you to sell the goods to another country, like for instance, you want to sell it to China, or you want to sell it to Australia, or to Mali, or to Congo. Now, when you do that, it is called intraport. Intraport is when goods are received from another country and exported to another country. Home trade is the trade within, it's also called domestic trade. Bilateral trade is the trade between two countries. Invisible trade is a trade that is a service trade. You cannot see it. Question 13. Question 11. Which of the following is an example of public corporation? Commercial bank is not an example of public corporation. Insurance company is always owned by private individuals. So partnership is owned by private individuals, majorly one person. So the correct answer is what? Railway corporation. Railway corporation is owned by the government. Commercial bank is owned by private individuals. Question 12. A bearer check can be what? Cashed. Take note. The word bearer check is a check that is not crossed. It's not a cross check. It's not an order check. It's a bearer check. Meaning that the person bearing the check, the person with the check can purchase it, can withdraw the money, can cash the check out. So a bearer check can be cashed by who? By any person holding it. Because why? It is a bearer check. So it can be cashed by any person holding it. That means the person's name will be the one on the check. That's why we call the bearer check. Bank managers only know. Bank managers don't cash check. Alright. Account holders, they are not the one that cash out check. They are the owner of the check. Alright. They are not the one that cash out check. The process of transferring goods from producers to consumers is known as what? Look at the statement. Transferring, meaning it's moving from let's say it's moving from Lokoja to what? To Kano. That means it has moved. Now when that happens, it is called what? Distribution. Distribution is what? The movement of goods from one place to another place where it is needed. All right. Consumption is, this one is by customers. Production is making of products. Exchange is when goods are what? Exchange between buyers, sellers and buyers. Which of the following is a function of retailer? Of a retailer. Who is a retailer? A retailer, right? A retailer, who is a retailer? A retailer is someone that buys goods in small quantity from wholesalers and sell to final consumers. So with my definition, you already know the answer. So a retailer is someone that sells directly to consumers. So the correct answer is what? Option C. Manufacturing goods is done by manufacturers. Breaking bulk is done by wholesalers. All right. Importing goods is also done by manufacturers or wholesalers. All right. Question 15. Trade between two countries is known as what? By. All right. Trade, take note of the statement, between two countries is done by what? It's known as what? Bilateral trade. When you talk of buy means two. So it's done by, it's a bilateral trade. That is the trade activity that is done between two countries. Like for instance, China and America, or London, Australia and what? Austria, Argentina and what? Brazil. Retail trade, that one is done by retailers. Home trade is domestic trade. Internal trade is trade done within the country. So the correct answer is what? Bilateral trade. Question 16. Which of the following is not an aid to trade? When you talk about aid, we are talking about something that helps, help or facilitates. It's not a or facilitates. So which of the following is not a facilitator? It's not a helper or facilitator, all right? Facilitator to trade. Banking is a facilitator to trade. Insurance is a facilitator to trade. Transportation is a facilitator, because why? This is the movement of goods from one place to another. This one is ensuring, all right, products, goods, then be insured. Banking, that is when goods are, money is, or loan is given to business owners to be able to do their business. The correct answer is what? Fishing. Fishing is not an aid to trade because this is a production activity. A document issued by customs authorities allowing goods into a country is called what? Import license. Why? When you receive goods from another country into your country, it is called importation, and that is under, so custom duties authorities rather issue import license so that goods can be what? Received into the country from another country. All right, so that's the correct answer. Waybill is a delivery note. Invoice is the note that covers what? That covers the details about the goods sold, and credit, this one is given to for return sake or for overcharge. Which of the following is a feature of money? Now, perishability is not a feature of money. Money should not be perished. Immobility is not a feature of money. Money should be moved around. Inelasticity is not it. The correct answer is what? Portability. Money should be able to be handled and carried from one place to another. Portability. For instance, now you say I can hold this money. Look at it. I can hold this cash. Why? It is portable. I can hold it. So for portability. So the future is money is portability. portable. Question 19. The risk of loss due to fire is covered under what? Fire insurance. Fire insurance is the insurance that pays for losses caused or incurred by fire accidents. This one, marine, is for sea. Life insurance is for human beings. Fidelity guarantee is for, this one is to cover the losses of a company based on the dishonesty of the employees. So the correct answer is fire insurance. Question 20. The person who takes out an insurance policy is called what? A policy holder. The policy holder is the one that ensures insurance policy. Is the one that ensures insurance policy. An insurer is the one that pays for the coverage of insurance. A broker is the one between the insurer and the insured. All right.
Hi, I'm sure you enjoyed the video you just watched. To see more content as that, preparing you for your upcoming exam, make sure to smash the subscribe button and turn on notification. Also, remember that you can use the comment section to send us your questions or your inquiries, and we are happy to take them. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.